Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? So today we're going to be talking about 5 things I wish I knew before I got married. Before I jump into the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you know when I'm dropping some fire videos and some good content. All right, let's go. What's going on, beautiful people? What's going on? It's Keishorne Scott, and I'm back with another YouTube video. So today we're going to talk about 5 things I wish I knew before I got married. There's so much things I wish I knew before I said I do. I'm happily married. I have a beautiful 6-year-old daughter, and I'm so happy to be married. But there are things that I wish I knew before I even entered that commitment with my wife. So in this video, I want to actually really touch deeply on these 5 things I wish I knew before marriage. And if you see any time in this YouTube video, you see this. My daughter made this for me. It's kind of cute. I think I'm about to open up a Shopify store for her. So start selling these things. This thing is really cute. I really like this. This is so beautiful. It's so cute. It's cute, right? Let me just get off topic. I love when my daughter make me cute things. I love it. I love it because it makes me so happy to be a father, proud father. When she's like, hey, daddy, I made this for you. If she made me earrings, I'm putting it on. If she made me a necklace made out of beads, I'm putting it on. I love her that much. Anyway, we're about to jump into the video. 5 things I wish I knew before marriage. Let's go. Number 1, I wish I knew how to communicate in a healthy way. How to express myself in a healthy way. When we first got married, right, in 2016, I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know how to communicate. Everything was an argument. Everything was a fight. And I could remember it could be the littlest things like, Keishorne, where you're going? What are you doing? What time are you getting back home? Everything was such this big, huge fight. And I kind of refused to tell her where I'm going or what time I'm coming back home. But I realize now that expressing yourself and communicating with your wife and the person that you love, it's not something that you should be ashamed about or, get angry or upset at your partner about. That's the love of your life, right? You married this person, you chose this person. So when you choose this person, you also choose to communicate with this person, talk to this person, and let this person in. And the one thing that I didn't do, I wasn't letting her in. It's like I'm married, we said I do, mission accomplished. As months and years start to go by, I realized that marriage is much more than saying I do, like finding love and all these things. I realized that it's so important to share your thoughts, express yourself, open up, be vulnerable, be emotional, cry with them. It's such a beautiful thing when a man opens up to the person that he loves without judgment, without hate, without anger. He just opens up 100%. Like, here I am. This is who I am, without being judged. It's such a beautiful thing. But honestly and truly, I wish I really knew how to communicate effectively. And I'm talking about nonverbal and verbal communication, nonverbal and verbal, because there were the things I didn't say and the things that I did say. And both kinds of communication wasn't right. Like leaving the house without saying anything, coming home later than I said I was without communicating, say, hey, babe, I'm on the way home. Those little things show so much respect in your relationship, and those things shouldn't go unnoticed. I wish I really knew that. And the thing about it, people always say common sense is common. Before you get married, there's a lot of growing up to do because it's really not you anymore. It's us. It's what are we going to do about it? How are we going to succeed? How are we going to eat? How are we going to move forward? How this affects us, how this affects the relationship. Because I realized something, me not communicating effectively doesn't only affect her, it affects the relationship. It affects us, it affects our children, it affects the next step of the relationship. And that's so important. Number 2, how to manage finances. I wish I knew how to handle finances because I was spending, I didn't have a budget. Listen, if you are engaged and you want to be married, budget out, have a budget, know how to spend, what you're going to spend on, what's allocated to bills, what's allocated to groceries, what's allocated to expenses, Netflix, Disney Plus. All of these things have to be in a category. You're supposed to know how much is going out and how much is coming in every single month. And as men, we have to be responsible. Don't get me wrong, my wife is good with that too. And if she's good with it too, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that I me personally, I wish I knew better. I had better money management skills. I wish I knew how to have a budget. If I knew about taxes, I didn't know anything about taxes. Yeah, I didn't even know how to file my own taxes. I didn't know anything about groceries, having a budget, a saving plan. I'm having an emergency fund. I didn't know any of these things. And I wish I knew these things. I wish I knew that I had to put a portion of my paycheck into a savings fund, into an emergency fund, just in case something happens in our relationship. We lose the house, we lost, we didn't, something, whatever happened. I want to know that we're good. And as good men, right? And men, right? And I'm a man of God. So a man of God who is a good steward over his family, I'm supposed to make sure that my family's positioned for success. Even when things don't work out, even when, we might be short on rent or I lose my job, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I'm supposed to get to that point before I even get there, if that makes sense. I'm supposed to get there. I'm supposed to be saving, making sure money's managed well, making sure we eating good, making sure things are handled. I wish I knew better money management skills because I was spending money recklessly and stupidly on dumb things. Like, it was just dumb. It made no sense. I wasn't spending money effectively. And you know what too, to touch on before we jump into the next step, when I was spending money and I didn't have any money management skills, no finance skills. What's crazy about it is that I wasn't thinking about my family. I was selfish. And I was thinking about myself and I was thinking about my own needs. I was thinking about, what can I buy for myself? What can I spend? And I wish I had that mindset of, how can I protect my family? How can I provide for my family? How can we save for something, a car or a house or whatever it may be? Money management skills is not about me. One thing I realized is like a lesson. Money management skills is not about me. It's about us. And I need to understand that because I was on me time for a long time until I had to develop and cultivate that we environment with my family. Understand it's not only Keishorne. It's about my wife. It's about my daughter and about us getting to the next level and making sure that we are protected, provided. We're cultivating love. We're just we're doing our best with what we have. All right. We're doing our best. Oh my gosh. This one is a huge one. I wish I knew how to handle arguments and disagreements before I got married. I wish I knew how to fight with a woman, how to argue, because I used to fight with my mom a lot. I used to fight with my sisters, my nieces, my nephews. But, you could be real dismissive with those kind of people. When you're in a full-blown marriage and you live with someone, arguing and fighting is completely different. There's a lot of tension around the house. There's a lot. You start feeling hot, right? And you start asking, is the heat on? The heat hasn't been on all day, but you start feeling hot. You walking around on eggshells. You're not even saying hi. You're not even saying good morning, hello, how are you? You nodding your head. You're like, mm-hmm. And then even if you do say good morning or hello, you're saying, morning, how you doing? I wish I knew how to argue. You know what? My wife, she knew how to argue effectively. Sometimes she knew how to argue effectively, but for me, I did not know how to argue. I got angry. I got mad. I was upset. I was mad, right? And especially when she was right. When she's right, I got even more mad because in my mind it's like, how you're going to tell me about myself and be right about it. And I know this about myself. I got so angry and I got so mad and I was just frustrated. And it got to a point where we didn't speak to each other for like months. It was just toxic. It was unhealthy. I wish I knew how to argue or how to fight fear. The way I used to fight was if she said something bad about me, guess what? I'm going to say something bad about you. If you say something bad about my mama, I'm going to say something bad about your mama. If you say something bad about whoever it is, I'm going to say I'm going to go back and forth with you because I wasn't arguing to understand. I was arguing to win, to show you that I'm not going to give up. I'm going to win this argument. I don't care. This is my argument. I know what I'm talking about, and that's what it is. I wish I knew that it doesn't have to be like that. That's how love depreciates. That's how you drain love. You don't cultivate love by arguing and trying to win an argument. That's not how love is produced. You don't get more love by getting more angry. You get less love by being more angry. So I wish I knew how to argue effectively. I mean, I do know, I know now, right? Like 10 therapists later and 3 pastors, right? But I know how to talk now. But before, it was all anger. And I realized that there's a lot of couples and married people out there who just Their fuel is on anger. Every day they wake up as angry. They wake up choosing violence. They don't want to talk to each other because they think that they already know what their partner's thinking or what they're going to do. We have to give people grace and we have to love them. And I wish I knew this before I got married, so I could have came into my marriage with more grace and more love, so I could have extended those years to have more love instead of all those arguments. But guess what, man? All those downtimes, those arguments, those pains, it actually helps you become a better person and helps you see things differently. Because that season of arguing and fighting all the time actually made me into a better man, and I learned so much from it. So I'm able to teach other men who are like me to become better men, better husbands, better fathers, better sons, better everything, better uncles, right? Better nephews, because that's what we need to become. We need to become better people. We need to know how to talk, how to speak, how to argue, how to fight, how to get our thoughts across without coming off angry. That's what we need to do as men. Number 4, things I wish I knew before marriage. I wish I knew how to have just have a work-life balance. So as a man, I felt as if I have to provide for my family. I gotta provide, I gotta protect, I gotta provide, I gotta protect. I was always at work. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be fully transparent with you. Even when we had Chloe, our child, she's 6 now, I'd rather be at work more than be at home. I'm being transparent because there was so much stress. I didn't want to work all day from 8 a.m. I remember I was working from like 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m. and then coming home to Chloe crying and upset, and then my wife, she used to rest a little bit. And it's crazy how you get mad at your wife or the person who's there, and it's not even their fault. It's not even their fault. Like, it's not even her fault. And I used to come home upset and angry because now I left one environment of trying to save the world, and now I'm in another environment trying to save the world. And one is work, one is my family. I have no balance. I rarely went out with friends. It was always work, provide, take care of your family, bills, watch the baby, and stay up with her all night, rock her every day. Like, I'm rocking her like this every night. It was always something. And I remember times when I was so stressed out. Like, I wish I could have just left the world and never come back. It's ridiculous, but I had to get to a point in my life where I had to have a little bit of balance. I got to a point where I used to tell her, hey, what are your friends doing this weekend? Go out, have a good time. I'm gonna stay with Chloe. And then I'm gonna go out with my friends. You stay with Chloe. Because we needed some kind of, or even better, we used to have our family members a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance, a month in advance. Me and Princess, my wife, we're going out tonight. Could you watch the baby? Or we're going out next week Friday, or we're going to literally, I kid you not, we used to go to a hotel, leave Friday night and come back Sunday morning because we wanted a mini vacation, even though the hotel was like a mile away or around the corner. Being in an environment other than your house brings you so much joy. But one thing that I really want to stress to couples or married couples now is have that work-life balance. Don't feel as if you have to work. You can enjoy your life. You can produce joy. You can have happiness and still have that balance in your life. And I know it's stressful. I know, you have to provide, you have to get the bills paid. You have to go to work. You have to get that promotion to make more money so you can live the lifestyle. But don't forget that there's much more to life out there, right? Your family's out there, your wife, your husband, your kids. They need your love at home. They need that life. Leave work at work. You don't have to bring work at home. Don't get on your computer, your laptop when you get home, because that was something that I used to do. I used to kind of escape being home by just jumping on my laptop and just writing or doing anything. Because I was running so much businesses at that time, trying to get to the place I am now. But I'm not going to lie to you, it was stressful. But you have to have that work-life balance. You have to know that this is work, and my life after work is completely different. That's my life with my family, my kids. That's my joy. That's my peace. Because I'm not going to bring the stress at home to interrupt my family's happiness, my wife's happiness, my child's happiness. And then now I'm angry at home, and now I'm angry at work. And now I'm in this toxic state of mind. I'm emotional. And then I'm going to lash out at my wife. I'm going to have arguments. I'm going to say something that I don't mean. So you have to have that that kind of imperfect, perfect work-life balance, to save your sanity. Number 5, I wish I knew how to handle expectations and avoid resentment. Because, and I'm not going to lie to you, I had so much resentment if my expectations of my wife wasn't met. Like, if I expected her to do something, I expected her to show up as this, I expected her to show up as that, and she wasn't doing it, I got so mad and I had a resentment. And you know what's so funny? I didn't communicate about it. All right. Number one, I didn't communicate. I didn't let her know. We didn't speak. We didn't communicate about it. So I'm walking around upset. You ever had that before? You walking around upset, angry at the person for doing something that made you upset, and that person doesn't even know what made you upset because you haven't communicated with that person. So now you're walking around expecting this person to know what you did, but they don't know what they did. And they're like, okay, why is this person upset? That's why communication is so important, because I was walking around, I had these expectations. Like I expected you to see this. I expected you to become this. I expected my food on the table when I come from work. I expected you to see this going wrong. I expected you to know that I'm gonna come home at a certain time. And then when you don't meet those expectations, or we argue about those expectations, or we fight about those expectations, guess what? I start to build resentment and anger towards this person. And then I realize I need to give you room to be you. And I need to stop being so, number one, judgmental. I used to be so judgmental, and stop expecting so much. Expectations kill. And sometimes we have these high expectations and these high values and these high standards from people, not knowing that if you don't communicate something that's wrong, like if I expect you to, hey babe, there's no food on the table. Oh, I was just busy. This person's probably busy. So the thing about it is that I had so much high expectations coming into a marriage. It was shut down as soon as I got there. I kid you not. So one thing that we have to do, honestly, is not to have such a high expectations for our partners, right? Of course, we expect them to love us, we expect them to do certain things, but don't have these unrealistic, right, expectations on the person, and communicate and talk to them about these issues. Why? Because if you don't communicate and you hide your emotions and you bottle these things up and you bottle up your anger and your resentment, you're going to have more resentment. You're going to have more anger, and it's going to pile up and it's going to pile up and it's going to get deeper and it's going to get harder to breathe, harder to communicate. And then you're going to start nitpicking on a bunch of little expectations and little things that's coming up. It's not healthy to you or your partner or the relationship. Learn how to let things go. Learn how to communicate. Learn how to speak to your partner. Learn how to talk to them, because that's how you grow in love, by communication, by talking, by being on the same page. If you are on a completely different page, the relationship cannot grow. It cannot nurture into what you want it to become. So those are the 5 things I wish I knew before marriage. Drop some comments, like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love you. Stay blessed and amazing. Until next time. Peace.